Hi everyone, hope you're doing great. Um, if you have clicked on this video, chances you are that you are thinking about applying for an MS or an MBA program in the coming fall or spring intake. And let me tell you one thing, this is a very, very exciting journey. Uh, I can completely understand and know that this particular process can feel a bit overwhelming, right from actually your GMAT to your essays to the deadlines and the constant what ifs. I mean, say what will happen if, say, apply to this specific school, or what are the chances of getting rejected or admitted. So I can completely understand this sentiment, and that's why LeapQuest and I have actually kind of structured this video, which will actually take you from every specific pointer on the application journey till the specific goal which we have, that is getting it admitted. So I just finished my MBA from NUS Business School, and it was a roller coaster ride for me. And I started my MBA in August 2023, after working close to 10 and a half years in management consulting, specifically in the technology consulting and cybersecurity consulting with firms such as EY and Deloitte. And yeah, so I think we can get started now with what exactly we have with respect to the application journey for the next 8 months. And let me assure you once again that I've gone through the same struggles, the same late night doubts. And trust me, with the right approach, I think you can turn this into an incredible and transformative experience. So before we start, I think just grab a cup of coffee and let's get started. So, as part of the first step when you actually get onboarded, uh, I think there's a lot of I think one of the features which I liked about this specific consulting firm was the amount of work which they actually put in with respect to profile showcasing. And this not only involves actually say selecting your specific schools which are as per your profile, but right from actually aligning your CV as per the PAR or the CAR format, problem action result and context action result, uh, enhancing every bullet point, enhancing and say quantifying or qualitatively actually representing every specific bullet point on your work experience and on education. So this specific exercise, I think, took close to, I believe, 1 to 2 months, 1.5 months, if I'm not wrong. And it's a very strenuous and very thought-provoking exercise, according to me, because getting a CV right is the first step to actually start understanding what exactly lies in your profile and how can you further substantiate with respect to your post MBA goals and say long-term goals after MBA. The second part is the letters of recommendation, where we basically check with the candidate who exactly in their current firms or current organizations can actually give recommendations. And according to me, I think this is also a very important feature of the application, where the recommenders are basically kind of trying to say put in a word for you uh, with respect to the work what you have done, with respect to the tasks what you've handled as part of as part of your tenure or stint with the company. So it's kind of a validation with respect to what you're writing as part of your essays and what is coming as part of the LOR to the respective schools. So it's a very important step according to me. And obviously the application essays and the scholarships. And each school has its own criteria with respect to scholarships. So we'll be discussing more about this as part of the coming slides. So so as I just explained the last slide, the first part starts with the application journey, profile assessment. I'm so sorry, where we do a thorough evaluation of your profile with respect to what you have done so far, what you wish to do after MBA, and how can an MBA journey basically, or an MS journey or a master's journey in short, help you glitch those gaps and basically improve on, say, from state A to state B. So that is the main, I would say, agenda of this specific step, coupled with your target schools, which come in basis the specialization of, say, what you're looking at. Say, for example, if you want to work for strategy consulting firm after your masters, and the likes of say A.T. Kearney or Bain or BCG or the Big Fours, or even the boutique consulting firms. Say for example, Simon and Kucher, then I think GEP, then Grant Thornton. Also, we first see what schools have that forte in consulting. So there's a lot of research which actually goes on with respect to basically selecting those specific schools. So we prepare a sheet of schools having specialization in that specific forte, and basis which we actually help you select your target schools, or a list of 5 schools or 8 schools, and basis which we select the target school. And obviously, academic profile enrichment and networking strategy are also very important components of your application journey. Where if for example, there is some uh, some area where further improvement can be made. Say for example, if you have a below average to average GPA, I think a certification in what you're doing right now in your current organization, that would be very helpful. So, or an executive certification in GenAI, or say how LLM models or analytics works in specific business areas and all. So a certification in this can also be very, very helpful, which will actually give the interviewer or the admissions committee a feeling that this particular candidate is serious about his or her MBA journey, and they have already started working on the requisite on the respective prerequisites before starting their journey. And yes, networking strategy. So when we actually select the target B schools, we encourage the respective candidates to say interact with current students who are in that specific school, or say prospective graduates, to understand their journey, to understand say their pain areas, to understand how a master's degree in the form of an MBA or an MS was transformative for them. So this is very, very important, and we encourage this. Uh, I think after the profile assessment and the target school research, such that the students can get a feel of what exactly they're entering into. So, starting with the phase one, I would say that. So these are the pre-GMAT activities, and over here, I'm the first step, as we just spoke about in the last slide. It's more on the personalized college shortlisting, followed by a comprehensive school evaluation, and followed by school evaluation in the form of a profile evaluation, I would say, where we analyze your CV, your essays, get the application strategy right, and in short, we are on our road to actually start brainstorming on the respective facets which have to be covered for the essays. And number three, we do the profile building activity, say doing an executive certification or engage in specific workshops, say for example, um, say ISEC or IEEE. I mean, I know these are college specific workshops, but something on the same lines. Say, for example, I think I'm not recalling, but there's another public speaking forum which way you can actually engage, and say if you want to actually get into consulting or investment banking, where communication skills are very much valued. So doing such certifications or workshops can be a very, very useful um, facet which you can actually cover as part of your profile. Uh, College, so college shortlisting basically takes place again, as I just spoke about in the previous slide. It's more on, I would say, the school's forte. Say, for example, if you're a finance professional, or if you have a tech background, or you were into marketing strategy or understanding consumer behavior, or you were into manufacturing and you were into engineering. So we will actually tell you those schools which have a specific forte. By forte, I mean apart from their core curriculum, they have certain electives which say add up to a specific specialization. And even the recruiters are very much interested to basically approach that specific global B school for recruitments or internships. So for a finance professional, Wharton, INSEAD, and LBS are the premier finance schools. INSEAD, again, apart from finance, it's a very good school for consulting. And consulting, I'm not only talking about performance improvement engagements, but and transformation engagements, but even healthcare consulting, for example, where there's a lot of research going on clinical trials, for example. So Such kind of consulting for such kind of consulting services also INSEAD is one of the stop shop for this. Similarly, tech lead, I think the best of Carnegie Mellon Tepper, for example, Duke Fuqua, NYU Stern. These are some of the schools which I think which actually talk about the digital strategy, which actually will hone you in areas like digital strategy, digital transformation, um, how to define an IT operating model, how can we amalgamate emerging tech and the respective business process areas, uh, and then basically solve the pain areas which the clients or the stakeholders are experiencing. So have tech is another area where schools have fortes. So again, MIT Sloan is one of them, for example. Marketing executive marketing is again marketing strategy, consumer behavior, category segmentation. Um, then I think I'm forgetting the name. I'm so sorry. I think demand and supply with respect to the pricing strategy, go-to-market strategy. So schools like USC Marshall, for example, because I still remember as part of my MBA, I studied a lot of cases from USC Marshall, UCLA, Anderson. Uh, I mean, their marketing club actually wrote lot of cases, and we studied as part of our marketing class. So I can definitely vouch for these two schools as part of if you're looking for the marketing strategy or the marketing executive roadmap after your MBA. Engineering, Stanford, I think that's the best B school in the US right now, which is offering some very innovative programs in engineering and manufacturing and supply chain and logistics. UC Berkeley has and Georgia Tech are some more. I think with respect to profile building activities, we just covered this, but it's more on these areas: workshop certifications, NGO participation, international exposure. A lot of B schools, I remember, it's like INSEAD and even NUS, for example, they look at what kind of clients you've handled before, or what kind of say stakeholder interaction you had on a global level. So international exposure becomes very very important. What kind of research publications you have, have you gone through, or what any white papers you have written. Then leadership boot camps is another immersive and intensive experience where you can engage before entering into an MBA. So Unilever has a leadership boot camp which stretches for 3 to 4 months. Even consulting firms like BCG have it. So by actually engaging in such initiatives, you're not only giving a feeler to the B school that you are very much interested to actually pursue an MBA journey now, but you're also letting them know that this is one of the areas where you want to get into. Say if you do a leadership program in Unilever, you're understanding say about supply chain and operations management from a granular way in those 3 4 months. It's a boot camp into the day. But yes, you're preparing yourself for roles in this specific domain after the MBA. Say into Unilever or Procter and Gamble or GSK. I'm just naming firms. Um, Followed by this, entrepreneurial projects, technical skill development, professional networking. I think we all covered this. But entrepreneurial project, if you have taken some kind of an initiative, or you are an owner of a startup, or you have some kind of an entrepreneurial flavor within you, showcase that as part of your application, and will help you brainstorm on it. Enhancing your academic profile, again, a walkthrough from the last slide only. Focus on research publications, leadership project at work, and once as part of the profile evaluation only, we will be taking some sessions with respect to how you can further academically stretch your profile. If there, in case there's a average, below average GPA, there are methods, there are measures to counterpart on it. So you don't need to worry for it. I think this is a very important topic, overcoming a low GMAT, GRE score. And in my experience, it does have a precedence, but it's not that important. I would say that again, but if you would have studied in GMAT, it's the necessary and sufficient condition. That it's a necessary condition, but not a sufficient condition. So you need to basically understand that it's one of the checks, and if you don't have this check, unfortunately, you can't go through. But it is not the only check which is actually determining your future in the B school. It would have a 10 to 15% stake, but there are other factors which actually say there are other factors which basically are looked into when a candidate's profile is evaluated and assessed. So my only suggestion to students would be that give your best. Don't get hyped up about this specific criteria. And if you're not doing good on say GRE, you can go for GMAT and vice versa. It's you just need to have a good I would say mental composure when you're giving this test, and the application journey actually starts from there. So you need to understand that. And the purpose of actually doing this session is we are actually preparing you to get into that mode 8 months prior to starting your application journey. That's the main endeavor. A lot of students basically come in the last 2 3 months and they are writing their exam and they're not able to give their best as part of their application. The essays, the LORs, the CV editing, these are very important things. So my take would be that the sooner you start, better for you. Phase two, uh, May 25 to August 25. Again, we have certain pointers over here where we will do the essay mapping with respect to all the respective schools what you have selected. We will try to understand what are the common essays and how we can initiate the concept of time and work here by basically brainstorming in an equivalent way or in an accumulative way for those specific essays and what all essays to focus on after that. So we have a priority matrix to do this. There's a narrative development um, initiative in this specific phase where we are actually focusing on areas like leadership, what kind of impact you have made on your projects, how has your personal growth been affected as part of your academic and professional journey, what team collaboration skills you get in. Uh, Talking about the LOR strategic planning, again, this is coming from the previous slide only, where we're actually not only brainstorming on the respective recommenders, but we're also kind of preparing a detailed guidance document on how can they actually say mention those specific achievements of yours. So there's a roadmap, there's a framework for this as well. Follow with Followed by there's a comprehensive document preparation, and we have a target completion of say 35 to 40 documents within 90 days. And this not only includes your resumes, essays, but also your optional statements, your recommendations, all your drafts. So that is what we aim for every school. uh, Not every school, I mean, say for example the school package what you've taken, so cumulatively they would be close to 35 to 40 documents which will be going for review. At the end of the day, the consultants, the external experts will do a holistic application review before you're submitting your application, such that uh, whatever mistakes or whatever issues which they have basically encountered as part of their journey and as part of other applicants journey, that is not repeated here. So we ensure that there is a 360-degree review over here, and till the time the consultant, the candidate are not satisfied with the end product, we do not submit the application. This slide is basically talking about some essays, what we basically come across for these top B schools, and what are the strategies to actually approach those essays. I'll take Columbia Business School. Say, for example, connect your professional experience to New York's dynamic business ecosystem demonstrating strategic vision. So not only you have to talk about um, not only you have to talk about your prior work ex, but you also need to connect with the respective firms and organizations which are there in New York as a city. And you also basically need to understand what kind of strategies are they basically incorporating. Say, is it a data driven strategy, or is it more into performance improvement optimization? Are they more into, say, for example, are they more into, say, for example, Porto 5 forces and McKinsey 7S, where they try to understand the competitor very well. They try to uh, understand the buyer bargaining and supplier bargaining power. They're actually trying to assess their customers. They're trying to assess their competencies. So there are specific frameworks by which every city, every specific region operates, and that is being dictated by the respective companies which are being established over there. So this specific essay, the brainstorming will be on the same notes, in short. Similarly for LBS, so international experience and potential leadership growth, we try to basically understand what kind of international experience you've had. Say again, it doesn't mean that you need to go there and work there. Uh, End of the day, if you're working in offshoring, or say a back-end office over here, and you've interacted with multiple global clients from Americas and from Europe, a story can still be built. It's not meeting them person to person. It's about the connect what you've had, the work what you've done with them. So that's how the strategies are basically evolved for every B school, every essay. We come to phase three, starting with application submission, 5 to 10 days before the deadlines. That's our aim. And if we are following this route, I think we can get much before this also. If you're starting well before time, if you are say 6 months, 7 months, 8 months before we start, I'm 100% sure that we'll be able to complete the applications before the deadlines. And it's very important. It gives you mental sanity end of the day, because you have brainstormed all your ideas. You have got multiple edits. You have got multiple reviews uh, with your consultant, and everyone is in a good headspace to basically release your application. So again, I'm just debating on the specific thing that yes, I'm for this, that it's good to start early. Simple. File reviews, essay refinement, document preparation, everything. Basically, this is part of phase three. And again, this is one of the most crucial and critical steps which have to be basically achieved in a very critical way. And the only criticality over here is time, according to me. As part of your essay feedbacks, which comes as part of phase one and phase two, both combined, and even phase three, when we are actually doing the reviews, we give a very tailored essay feedback. And it's highlighting your, say, for example, I take Yale School of Management. It's more on highlighting your commitment to social impact through leading an NGO project. Say if for example, the school is very heavy on DNI, the school is very heavy on the entrepreneurial perspective, where say a lot of entrepreneurs have come into the NGO or the social space. So we try to match your experience with the school's vision and the mission statements. Similarly for the schools, Chicago, HEC, and Harvard. And that's how we give our feedback, we give our comments to ensure that we are aligning with the mission statements and the school's vision. That is how our strategy is developed. That's what I've learned so far. It's very important to differentiate your profile from other candidates, because end of the day, say you take a school like ISB or NUS, for example, a lot of Indians apply here. And I'm sure that a lot of you would be working as part of tech, IT, ITS, and doing the same kind of stack coding work or development work. Or so it's very important to differentiate your profile. It's very important to strengthen your credentials, say by highlighting or substantiating your achievements, and ensuring that there's a lot of alignment with the school coming up. Basis the prior to criteria. So this is of highest importance according to me. Well, this equation, 75% of the admissions weight is, as I told in the initial call, that's it relies on a well-rounded, unique profile, which actually carries 75% of the weight. So we need to differentiate the profile, and we have all the ingredients to differentiate your profile in some way. So, I mean, again, it's a very subjective question, but end of the day, you just need to basically hang on one specific thing what you have done differently, and we know how to basically amplify it and say make it magnanimous with respect to how the admissions team wants to view it. And there are four key areas majorly where we actually find that where we find a couple of these distinctive pointers. Can be academic excellence, it can be leadership experience, it can be extracurriculars, it can be social impact. And right now, the burning area or most disruptive area right now is the sustainability portion, the ESG part, net zero emissions. Some very good profiles are coming up in these areas. So we will be doing this as well. Resume crafting. I think I explained this before, but yes, it's more on analyzing the milestones. It's more on an action-oriented language. The PAR framework or the CAR framework, as I just said, problem, action, result, and net impact made. And we abide as per the schools. We abide as per all the respective schools formats. The CV format what we have. So that has been accepted by all the respective B schools. I think I submitted those essays in ISB, IIM Ahmedabad, NUS, IMD Switzerland, even NCEAD. Every school accepts it. Essay writing, I think we have already discussed this again, but it's a combination. It's a four-stage process starting from brainstorming to structuring to storytelling to editing, and it's more of an agile loop, I would say that. If, for example, it's not that we have to go back to the same route once again. Say, for example, if there's an issue with storytelling or structuring, it's not that we'll be going back to brainstorming like the waterfall approach. We'll actually be there. We'll have multiple sessions till the time that particular point is not clear. And then only we'll actually proceed with the next step. LORs, it's more the recommendation section, guidance provision, review and refinement. So uh, right from actually selecting your recommenders to helping the recommenders how to draft it and the final review which we'll be having with respect to what the recommenders have written and if there are any additional pointers which we can suggest as consultants or as admissions consultants here. Interview preparation. The first two sessions we have with respect to giving a brainstorming session combined with how you're currently structuring and road mapping your answer. Every mock is accompanied by a detailed feedback, and it's a mix of questions related to your profile, your MBA or master's motivation, um, school specific questions with respect to how you can contribute to the school, and some tricky and curveball questions, which every master's candidate experiences as part of their interview journey. B school selection strategy is again on the basis of your profile evaluation, school analysis, what is their forte, their culture, and a strategic mix, which basically provides a balance of aspirational, realistic, and safe schools to maximize chances. So we bucket schools. Say, for example, if you have taken a package of 5 schools, we will actually break it down into, say, depending on the risk appetite you have, or depending on what ranking or what range of ranking of schools you are actually applying to. So one dream, say for example, too realistic and too safe, or if you're ambitious with respect to your chances, or if you're confident with respect to where you want to get into. So it can be too ambitious, too realistic, one safe. That is again basis the discussion and basis the profile we've evaluated. Application review process. There are a lot of checks. Alignment check is one of them with respect to sentence structuring, school requirements, coherence in the essays, storyline getting developed. That is a very important point. And again, the major focus is on timely submission, such that everyone is in a good headspace. We are giving scholarship assistance as well in the form of merit-based scholarships, which every school releases as part of their essays, or they have interviews, or I think the decision basically comes in later also. A few of the schools gave it like that as well. So we do help in the brainstorming and sketching of such scholarships essays. And there have been, I would say, I mean, in my experience as a consultant, I believe, I think last year itself, if I take a couple of years, I think we have the admits what we have got. I think more than 60 to 70% of all of them have got scholarships. And some of them, I think, didn't even write the test. I think those were for specific MIM courses, I guess. I think we helped them get the scholarship. Again, basis their profile, what exactly they have written, and how their story got weaved. And obviously, the mocks. They performed very well in it, and they got a scholarship without writing a test. So there are cases like this also where you can get a waiver and still get a scholarship. Post admit support, we will definitely support you with the visa assistance for specific countries, say Singapore, US, UK. There are certain criterias, and considering that we have a lot of candidates and students who have got through prestigious B schools and universities. So we have a database and repository of how they actually navigated through the visa hurdles or challenges if they faced any. So definitely we'll be helping you with that. And definitely the alum connection which we have with respect to the experts and students who have got through other B schools, and again the pre-MBA preparation on networking and academic readiness, which we've already spoken about before you join the MBA program or the master's program. So what do you think are the next steps for of your MBA journey? I believe you can get started with a profile evaluation. Schedule a session with us today to assess your strengths and improvement areas. What schools are good for you? What are your plans with respect to, say, progressing in your current company, or if you are, say, starting any initiative in your startup? Discuss with us. We'll help you understand what specific schools or what specific programs you can aim for, such that all of this is scalable. All of this gets scaled in the next 2 3 years, and all of this is scalable, by the way. We can do a weekly commitment, 2 3 hours per week for profile building and GMAT prep, from which I started this month. And you can leverage our support to for utilizing end-to-end guidance to ace your applications and secure a dream admit in a specific MBA, MS, and MIM program. Why choose us? Why choose the Quest? Um, Apart from the areas which I mentioned over here, personalized approach, comprehensive support, proven track record, expert team, I believe, unlike other, again, I won't take names over here, but unlike other consultancies, the difference which I've seen with LeapQuest is that they give time. They are quite proficient in understanding the pain areas of the students, of the candidates, and the mitigating plan is developed and incorporated as soon as possible. Plus, if you're not happy, till the time you're not happy, till the time you're not satisfied or complacent, we will ensure that we give you the end product as per your desire. So I think these things are very simple, but again, it's very tough to implement them. And the implementation, what I've seen apart from these four areas, is one of the brownie points of this specific consultancy. These are school packages. And I think once you actually have a call with us, we can have a detailed discussion on this as well. Again, before I end the presentation, I guess it is not easy. It is not easy to select a consultant. It's not easy to prepare your mind for an MBA or an MS or an MIM journey, considering there's a lot of investment involved. But if you are already thinking about all this, I think you've already crossed step one. Congratulations for that. My point is, start early, such that you are experiencing each part of the application journey in a fulfilling and in an enriching way, and you are covering as every part of the application journey in a very comprehensive way. That's what I would suggest. And this is what I learned when I basically applied for schools like IMD, NUS, ISB, IIM Ahmedabad, Lucknow. I got through, I had an 80-90% hit rate because I started early. And LeapQuest helped me get through very good B schools like IIM Lucknow, HKUST, NUS, and SMU. The core journey, the core point over here is to start early and enjoy every step of the application journey, because I'm telling you, it's a very enriching and very enjoyable process. Thank you. Thank you, and all the very best.